Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Dooley TV. All right, so my apologies first and foremost. I was not able to get a video out this past week. I had to go up north for a work trip, and we just got back yesterday. So let's get into it. Anyways, this week is gonna be pretty hectic. I have a bunch of stuff to do. As you can see, this is one of the things I have to do. Another thing I have to do is my oil pan gasket. If you watch my UV dye video, you would know that my oil pan gasket is like leaking like crazy. And I'd rather fix that before I go to the track so that I don't leak oil everywhere. It's not a good look, bruh. Anyways, let's go over this. And I'll try to go through prices as well. As you know, my E46 drift car is a budget build. Um, I'm cheaping out on basically everything. And the point of doing that is just to, really get into the sport. And then later on, when I decide to take the next level up, I'll actually go ahead and, you know, I think you get the point. All right, let's start with the first thing. I bought this Hydro e-brake setup off of Amazon. I paid $90 for this. It did not come with the banjo. I got the banjo from PartsShopMax. I'll get into that. But pretty good setup. This is supposed to be like an ASD fake. $90 though. Can't really complain. It feels good quality. I know a bunch of people that use this and they've liked it. And I actually got a recommendation from one of my friends that told me this would be a solid setup. Um, so that's the Hydro. Next thing we have are the dual caliper brackets. So these are the Weldon brackets. I got these for $30 on Amazon. So they do have like a $90 version, which is like a bolt-in version that you can just bolt in instead of weld. But again, that's $30 versus $90. So I went with the cheaper versions, and I am gonna get these welded. I might do the welding myself. We'll see. I might also just have my brother do them. It just really depends. I'm gonna try one of them. If I feel like I'm not doing a good enough job, then I'll just force my brother to do it. So that's the brackets for the dual caliper setup. Now right here we have our brake line kit. So this I bought from PartsShopMax. I actually drove down to Escondido and saw Tommy. Thank you again, Tommy, for everything. So Tommy hooked it up with a brake line kit. So this is the hard line part, and then this is the rest of it. So this is a steel braided line. So basically, how it's going to go is one single line will go from the Hydro right here and split off into a T, and then those two brake lines will connect to my dual calipers or to my added calipers, basically. That costs $174.99, I believe, plus tax. Yeah, and then we have calipers. So these are just stock E46 rear calipers. I found these on Instagram. So if you guys know SoCal E46 parts, when you post a story and you tag them, if it's E46 related or I think E36 related as well, he'll go ahead and repost that story for you, which hundreds of thousands of people see. Um, so someone ended up hitting me up telling me that they had these. I bought these for $75. They come with the brackets, and they came with pads, but the pads are like old. So I'm just gonna have to buy new pads, which is fine either way because I want to get better pads, obviously, to lock up the rear when I'm pulling my Hydro. And then something a little off topic. I bought a PartsShopMax um, shift knob. It's extendable, so you can make it like as long as you want it to be. Right now, problem is, it does not fit on my shifter. I need to find a different thread pitch to get this to fit, which is unfortunate, but it happens. So this will probably get taken care of in a couple weeks or so. I'm probably not going to focus on this too much this week, just because this week's going to be hectic. So the plan is for this week, get the Hydro setup done, um, and get my oil pan gasket done before the drift event. And then what else? What else? Oh, and then as far as mounting the hydro, so I'm just gonna make a plate myself. Like, of course, you can go and buy one, but again, budget build. So I'm just gonna create a plate that basically the shifter's right here. So it's a plate that goes around the shifter. It's gonna go like that. So it's gonna be basically like a flat bottom and then a U, and it's gonna sit this way, right? So this will mount onto that. I'm gonna do some welded pieces on the bottom for stability, and I'll try to. I'm thinking about drilling 4 holes in the plate so that I can like kind of stitch weld, and then potentially stitch weld around that. I don't really want to do bolt setup just because E46s are very thin metal, so I'd rather be safe than sorry and do a welded plate setup. But yeah, for today, I was gonna start on the E46, and I still might just to get rid of some of the interior parts so that I could get ready for it. But unfortunately, my brother parked his car behind my car and went on a little vacation and took his keys with him. So I cannot put the car in the garage. Um, so really, the only thing I could do today is pull some of the interior pieces out and just get everything ready for me these next following days so that I can get started as soon as possible. I'm also going to clean up these calipers, make them look a little more fresh. Pretty sure they're supposed to be silver. But I don't know. So I'm gonna try to freshen these up a little bit so that once I get everything set up, my hands aren't black and dirty and they actually look kind of cool. Um, Other than that, we have one more thing we need to do for the E46, which is just getting tires. I need 2 new sets of tires, one for the Enkeis and then one for my Revolves, my second pair, um, which I'm going to end up going to BC Garage for. So stay tuned for that as well. That's probably going to happen later throughout the week. What else? I think that's it for now. But yeah, I'm gonna put some videos of me going to PartsShopMax down in Escondido. I went down with Gus. Appreciate you, Gus, for going with me. And then I went to Kyler's as well. And Kyler lent me his engine hoist thingy. I'll show you guys right now. But it's basically that thing that holds the engine up so that you can drop your front subframe to do the oil pan gasket. Kyler, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I love you. And yeah.
What you need?
Gus, what is this place?
TakeYourMoney.com.
Yeah.
Hello. So which one of these motherfuckers gonna buy my computer so I can deliver it to them? They're your homies.
Thank you, Mr. Tommy.
Of course. I guess that's
How many
us.
did you get from them?
Huh?
How many did you,
PBM everything.
what did you sell them to you for?
PBM the world?
Maybe. No, not quite. It's gonna be straight on that. 65 a pair.
Okay.
Yeah, why? That's what he posted them for. Yeah,
So
I
you
had
can
call
raise
him.
the size.
So this is the hoist thing that I'm talking about. What is the actual name for it? Engine support bar, 1,000 pound capacity. Okay, so that will basically just hold my motor up while I drop the subframe and change the oil pan gasket. It comes with like, the little triangle things that sit on the fenders and screws and whatever. But yeah, so this is the whole setup that we're going to be working on. And yeah, I'm just going to get started on cleaning these up a little bit, making them look a little fresh, getting rid of these brake lines because I obviously don't need that anymore. I might keep these if I find a spot to put them. I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah. And then after that, again, we're going to open up the interior and try to get rid of some of the pieces that would be in the way. So let's do it. Ooh. All right, bro. So I decided I'm going to be a little ghetto boy and paint them purple. All right, so I went ahead and started taking the interior apart. Got basically the whole center console out, the buttons for the windows out, right? Now I need to grab the hydro and try to figure out where I want to place it to see where I'm going to have to cut some of the interior. Okay. So let me show you guys what I've come up with basically. So I cut this piece here and here, cleared that section, and then I made a little CAD design of what I want. CAD as in uh, cardboard aided design. But so that's gonna sit right there. This is obviously the metal piece that I'm gonna cut out is gonna be like that. And then this is going to sit right here, right? And then I wanted to make it look as stock as possible, so I just took out the window buttons from this panel, and it's gonna sit like that. And yeah, so it's gonna look something like that. I'm obviously gonna have to do a lot more trimming in this area for the center console, but I'm gonna get to that later. I'd rather get this bolted down and everything prior to cutting whatever back here because I want to make it as precise as possible. um, but yeah, so this is what I got so far. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. This is most likely going to be a part 1, part 2 video. So as you saw, I made the metal plate for the hydro to sit on. I unfortunately don't have drill bits that can go through metal, so I'm just going to do that at BC Garage. And I will be doing all the welding and installing at BC Garage. So stay tuned for the next part. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Deuces!